So that was when I did my first calendar, and then I did 3 calendars because they were so popular.
Yeah.
And then this year the printing costs, well, I got to the printers and they said you've missed the deadline, but I'm hoping to get one for August this year.
Dave, put it on Dave's phone.
Do you know what, Dave? You're right about that.
Set the phone up one day.
I've got mine here, he's ready to fight, but he's alright, he's okay at the moment. Actually, that's a bit of proper, if you want to know what Maisie Beat sounded like, and you didn't. Rockin' in Boston, Philadelphia, deep in the heart of Texas, down to Frisco Bay. This is Dave Williams, Eric London, myself, and Keith Stokes. It's Sweet Little 16, obviously, without the words. So we could play a bit of rock and roll.
Can I have that track?
You can have that, Jeff. You can sing to that. Tight dresses and lipstick. She's sporting high-heeled shoes. Go on, Jeff.
You're getting paid.
Don't have me on that one, Dave. Getting paid. Jeff, getting paid. We've had that one before. Is there anybody in this room who's ever been paid?
Is there any more questions?
Well, what do you think of drummers like Eric Delaney and Sandy Nelson, Harry?
Well, Eric Delaney, yeah, I went to see him a couple of times. I used to love that. They are my idols, them guys. Buddy Rich, I loved watching Bublé and Tony Bennett, and I watched an hour and a half of Sinatra the other night on a TV channel. And I just watched the big band drummers. I just love them big band drummers. I think they're great, you know. The rock and roll drummers, the Maisie Beat drummers that I admired was Norman Culk out of the Swinging Blue Jeans, who I thought was a great drummer. Jeff's drummer, Bugs Pemberton, was a great rock and roll drummer. I also thought Pete Best was a great rock and roll drummer. And all this stuff, you know, I hear about Ringo and all that, you know. As far as I'm concerned, Ringo was good with the Beatles, but he was in the right place and he was there at the right time, and good luck to him, you know. But there was nothing wrong. Pete's drumming, the only thing that would have sort of stomped Pete's drumming was probably the bass drum. I don't know, he might have been a bit loud. But when I saw all the girls running after them and filling the cabin, and the lads at the back, the foremost will tell you, they played on the bill with them often enough. And it was Pete in the early days. It was Pete's that thumping drumming that did it. And Dave Lovelady, of course, I don't know whether Dave's here, but Dave Lovelady was a great drummer, and still is a great drummer these days. You know, and there was a lot. Trevor Moraes, who backed Farron, Trevor Moraes, and again was another good drummer. You know, who came out. So there were plenty of good drummers in Newport, but I wasn't a rock and roll drummer. You know, they used to say that. Drummers like me, you're just in the background and you're just there to basically keep it and not fill in, you know, which is what we did, and it worked for us, you know. So...
Another question?
I just want to tell a little story, actually, because, I mean, I remember the Remo 4, you know, when I was young, when I was about 18,
yeah.
And myself and 4 of my friends went down to Bob and Regis Butlins, and we told all the girls down there that we were the Remo 4. You know?
Cheers, thanks for that. Your grandson turned up at my house last week.
And we used to say that we were having a break from touring, and we used to sort of give them all a song, all the girls a song, and that, you know. And we only lasted about 4 days then, because it was so miserable down south, but we ended up going to Capelli, you know.
Oh, brilliant!
But it was just the way it was.
You weren't a drummer, were you?
We used to have the suits and everything, you know, the same suits and everything.
That's a great story. That's wonderful.
But as I say,
that could be the first tribute band.
At the time, the Remo 4 with the top band in Liverpool,
yeah.
I think we thought we were better than the Beatles. You know?
So we had a tribute band before anybody else. That's a great story. That really is a great story.
I've got another one for you, Harry.
It's a chap at the back.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
A question about the Swinging Blue Jeans.
Yeah.
Les Blade was my cousin.
Right.
I was with him just before he died.
Oh, yeah.
He came back to his old faith and he was reaching out for the angels as he departed this life.
Oh.
But is the band still going?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah. Have we got time? Yeah, you're in charge.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, well, we'll just go to then we'll go back to Frank. Yeah, the Swinging Blue Jeans are gold, but there's a problem at the moment, because obviously Norman Culk lives down south. Ralph friend of David has.
Not very.
He doesn't get involved in it at all now, but we do meet up every now and then for lunch, don't we, Dave? We go to the Grapes, don't we, Dave? 2 for a fiver. Yeah, it's 2 for a fiver in the Grapes. So we meet up with Ralph. So there's only Ray. Obviously, Colin was with him for 25 years. Les, like I think we all went to the funeral for Les. And what happened is Ray Ennis kept the name, but then he don't know, it was last year or the year before, he retired. And the story I heard from Ralph and from a friend of mine, Colin Price Jones, was that Ray had sold the name to somebody in Salford, I think the Salford Jets.
Mike Sweeney.
Yeah, Mike Sweeney. And they were going to carry on with the name, and Ray was retiring. And what happened is that Alan Lovell, who took over Colin Manley's place as lead guitar, I think for the last 10 years, 11 years, Alan wanted to keep the name going, and he went down, again this is only hearsay, but he went down and he went to the patents, what's it called, David, he copyrighted, and it appeared that no one had ever copyrighted the name, the Swinging Blue Jeans. Well, you know, I suppose when you think about it, you wouldn't, would you? You know, you wouldn't do it.
Harry, this is what happened to us.
You had the same, Jeff, yeah. And in fact, it's strange you asked, I brought that up because Billy Hatton at the back, the foremost, they had the same, they've got the same problem. You know, they have to go out as the original foremost now. They can't go out as the foremost. I mean, Billy's been to court over it, Jeff's been to court over the Undertakers. So now what's happening is that Ray sold the name, again, hearsay, to the Salford Jets guy. Alan Lovell went and patented the name, copyrighted the name. So he's got the name of the Swinging Blue Jeans. And up to now, I don't know what's happening because they seem to be fighting it out in court, I think.
Well, legally, if he's actually copyrighted the name and this guy in, what is it, Mick Sweeney, hasn't copyrighted it, Alan's got the name.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
That's what happened to me. They slipped through the back door and made me bankrupt, basically.
Yeah.
But I wore them down. I just carried on. I hadn't took no notice.
But when you think, you know, Jeff, we'll come back in a minute. When you think Jeff and Billy, I'll tell you, you don't think. Yeah? I mean, you know, if we'd have said, well, you know, even now, if someone wanted to go out, if Dave formed a group and decided to go out as the Remo 4 and got 3 other good musicians,
if nobody opposed it, he had the copyright. Same as the Beatles. You could go out and form a band called the Beatles, and if nobody opposed it, if none of the hierarchy from the Beatles organisation didn't oppose it, you've got the name.
Yeah.
And there's basically nothing you can do, but you know about it.
But you wouldn't have thought about it, would you? You wouldn't have thought about
kids, it. Nobody would have thought about it.
I mean, Billy, you wouldn't have thought about it, would you?
No.
No.
When I actually went to this hearing, it was done by a satellite link and all the business. And I was on my own in this place in London, and the others were in this other room, right? Then all of a sudden the screen lit up, and the adjudicator and his secretary were sitting on a table like that. And then, as close as Nicky is to me, was the enemy. And it was like walking into court and seeing the opposition sitting on the bench with the judge.
Yeah.
And I had all this stuff about the records we'd done, the television shows we'd done, all about the band, how we first started. I had photographs and all kinds. And what the guy said, he said, all your previous history concerning this name, all your previous history about how you worked at the band, how so-and-so gave you the name, blah, 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 all the work that you've done is irrelevant. And I just got my folder and just dropped it on the table and went, well, that's the end of my case then, isn't it? And it was treated as being irrelevant. Absolutely horrific.
Basically what happened to me, when they told me, I went down to London, the registrar's course it was, and I went down to register for trademark, and I went down to London. Now none of the, sorry, I'm going to be impolite now, shitheads were there.
Say it exactly.
And I went in and, anyway, I lost the case, I'm just cutting a long story short. I went to get my car, and the woman who was representing the assets was coming out of the court, and I went over towards her, and she must have thought I was going to have a go. I said, no, strictly off the record, and just have a quiet word. So she said, yeah. So I said, had I been able to afford a company like you, who would have won the case? She said, off the record, no contest.
Yeah.
She said, if Mr. Webster had still been alive, we couldn't even have opposed it. And I went in with her, but I couldn't afford. My solicitor was doing it pro bono, but he said he just couldn't afford to come down to London with me. That would be too much, and I had to fight that on my own. And I was there on my own. And when I had a word with her, she said, no contest. She said, you would have won it, hands down.
It's all wrong, like you say. These are the guys, Dave. Foremost. That was Billy Hatton from the Foremost, actually, at the back. Billy Hatton, Jeff, people like that. You know, they forged the way. They forged the way for these people, and now they're making a good living. Go and do these solid silver 60s tours. You know, how can you go and watch the Foremost, and how can you go and watch someone else's Undertaker?
We can't get on. It's one big click trying to get on those shows, and I think.
By the way, one nice little thing came of this is that all the other bands like Jeff and Evan, all the Liverpool bands, they now call the current Foremost, they call them the Fraudmost.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hi Ali, it's Gaz.
Hi, Gaz.
Before this topic came up then, I was just thinking, how did you feel when the Remo drumhead started coming out in the 60s?
Well, do you know what, guys? I've got a... Ralph Ellis from the Blue Jeans went on holiday once, but I think he went to America. That's Gaz Gaskell, by the way. We've seen Gaz down here a couple of months back out of the Groove. He's a fantastic sax player and musician. And he brought me a T-shirt with Remo right down the side, and on the bottom drumheads. So, you know, I thought, wow, look at this, you know. And yeah, the Remo drumheads, Remo cases, and this T-shirt. Yeah, we were before our time, Gaz, weren't we, when you think about it?
Go Frank, one last question.
Well, incidentally, Ray Ennis has gone back to the Mike Sweeney. He's joined them up, and he can't call himself the Swinging Blue Jeans. He's called himself Ray Ennis's Blue Jeans. So
oh dear, isn't it terrible?
But the question I was going to ask you, you're only in it for the love of it, you've said.
Yeah.
Why did you leave? Because shortly after you left, they hit the big time. I mean, I've got about 8, 10, 12 programmes where they've gone on big tours with.
Well, I think we all. Well, with me, I was getting married. I have to haste the. We arranged this wedding. You know, it wasn't. It wasn't one of them weddings.
Can you sell everything for me, David?
What?
So you could have me.
No, that was well before the group. I had you well before the group. Don't worry about that.
Getting back to your
yeah. Let's get back to the music. Sorry, Dave. No, Dave's getting embarrassed here. No.
That's not on the phone, is it?
Hey, Dave. Knowing him, Jeff. Knowing him, don't be surprised what's on the phone. But why I left is because I think it was early '62. We were getting married in '62, and there was a lot of work. And you see from that book, we were absolutely getting chocker with it. Plus, I had a daytime job. You know, Dave and all of us had daytime jobs. And they then wanted to go to France, and we're going to ask Scylla, because they wanted a girl singer to go with them, as I told you before. And I just said no, and Keith said no. But Keith stayed a little bit longer. Basically, I wanted to get out because I was getting married out, and we had to sort all that out. But they all came to the wedding. It was all, you know, all very friendly now. I've got pictures of the lads at the wedding and everything. But yeah, I don't regret it. I mean, I joined up with Dave and Eric, and then Keith left the Remo, came to us, and we had a great. How many years was it, Dave? 3?
2.
2 years?
Rocks.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
Then you kicked me out. And I was the one who was getting the bookings. All I did was went and play with the Remo a few times.
I've already told her that, Dave, but you did tell us at the time you were off sick. You're telling us now you went to play with the Remo, but you didn't tell us then. But yeah, so, you know, I joined up with the Remo, and then we did the film, and we had some great gigs. We played loads of times with the Beatles.
I was sick. I was sick with worry, in case you found out.
But it's, yeah, you know, it was great fun, and then I did 12 years in top cabaret clubs, and played, worked with everybody, and, you know, got changed, and you've been there, all of you have been